Welcome back. The Justice Department is considering federal charges against the illegal immigrant acquitted of murder on Friday. That's in the 2015 shooting death of Kate Steinle. The suspect had been deported 5 times before killing, which he claimed was an accident. House Homeland Security Chairman McCaul is one of the strongest supporters of Kate's Law, a bill that would stiffen the penalty for anyone caught repeatedly entering the United States illegally. Congressman McCaul joins me right now. Congressman, it's good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks for having me.
We have a lot to talk about in terms of sanctuary cities and Kate's Law. I'll get to that in a moment. Let me first get your take on what has taken place this weekend in terms of the Robert Mueller investigation. We know now that the ABC report on Friday was erroneous, that the president directed Michael Flynn after the election 1 month before taking office. What's your take in terms of these developments this weekend?
Well, with respect to Mike Flynn's investigation, this is an ongoing process. I hope we can wrap this up very shortly. I think the more disturbing report I heard come out was that one of the FBI agents assigned to the Mueller investigation was reassigned because of his political views. I worked in the Justice Department for many years. FBI agents should not bring in their own political bias into these investigations. And the fact that this was one of the lead agents on the Hillary Clinton email investigation, if true, I think it's very disturbing and possibly could call for a reopening of that investigation.
This individual played a key role in the original FBI investigation of the Trump-Russia matter. Trump-Russia investigation, even though I know Loretta Lynch wants us to call it a matter, by the way. In addition, he was not fired. He was moved to HR in the FBI. So what's that all about? You know, they know that he's political, sending, texts to people, disparaging the president, pushing Hillary Clinton forward, and yet he's taken off of that role, but still in the FBI. He's in the Human Resources Department.
Well, I think it was correct to take him off this investigation with respect to how to handle him from a personnel standpoint. Leave that to the Attorney General. But again, I think this raises greater questions about the fidelity and the integrity of this investigation. You're never supposed to bring your personal politics into this sort of thing. I worked in the public integrity section. And so not only the Mueller investigation into the Russian collusion now is being called into question, but again, going back to Hillary Clinton's emails, perhaps that was improperly handled because of this political bias. I don't know the answers to all that, but it sure does raise a lot of questions that I think the Attorney General now has to put this right. I found this, as a former federal prosecutor, again, very disturbing, and it does throw into question the entire investigation.
So you think maybe it could be reopened then?
I think the Hillary Clinton email investigation, if he was very pro-Hillary and anti-Trump, this type of agent should never be assigned to this type of case.
Right.
It's a political investigation. You're not supposed to put your political views, into that type of investigation. Again, as a former DOJ guy, I find this troubling.
All right, let's move on to Kate Steinle, and we know that the killer here, the murderer, well, he was found, acquitted, but he was deported 5 times, and it opens up the question of sanctuary cities, Mr. Chairman, and why it is that San Francisco refuses to follow the law of the land.
Well, this should never have happened. I'm a father of 5. Kate Steinle said to her father, "Daddy, please help me," as she died in his arms. This is one of the most tragic things. And then to see a San Francisco jury acquit this killer of the charges is even more tragic for the family. And I think for the nation, it signals a broader problem in our failed immigration policies. These sanctuary cities that give, those who come in the country illegally, who are criminals, safe haven in cities like San Francisco. It is a public threat, and it needs to change. We passed Kate's Law in the House. I would hope the Senate would do the same. We passed a No Sanctuary for Criminals Act, which is sitting in the Senate. These things could be quickly moved and signed by the president. Finally, Maria, my border security bill, Border Security for America Act, needs to be passed quickly in the Congress. This will get the border secure so we don't have people like this guy returning 5 times. He was deported 5 times with multiple felonies and he came back into the country and then perpetrated this killing, and then unfortunately got off the hook by, I think, a biased jury in San Francisco because they knew this was a referendum on sanctuary cities.
It's incredible. And I mean, at this point, are you expecting support there? I mean, Kate's law is mandating jail time for someone who continues to come back after being deported.
We need to get these killers, these criminal aliens off the streets to protect the American people and the safety of the American people. To me, I don't understand what the holdup is in the Senate, but I think with this jury verdict coming down, it cries out for action in the Senate. I know the president's very supportive and would sign this legislation tomorrow if put on his desk. And it also cries out for why we need the border secure. We need the wall. We need my border security bill passed.
Yeah. And do you think that will happen in 18?
I do. Okay. I do. We've been working very closely on that. Border, interior enforcement.
Right.
We also have to deal with DACA at some point.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks for having me.
Great insights from you, Chairman Michael McCaul. We'll be right back.